I know it's quite comfortable, but try not to sit back and lounge back on the chair. Try and have a little bit of a gap between you and the chair. So, soften into your buttocks, soften into the chair. Try to feel any strain or stress just flowing out of the body and the draining out through the legs. Okay. Now, try and sit tall on this one. Oh, I'm going to mute you. I forgot to do that. Okay, if you get any questions as you go through, give me a shout, give me a wave. And just to start with, I'd like you to take your hands into a lower yin position. So the palms are turned over. I'm thinking about the curvature of the arms and the chest. It's almost like my chest is pushing forward, but I'm trying not to sink my weight down. Work with your hands at a level that's appropriate. It might be only just above the legs, might even be touching your legs. That's absolutely fine. I'm trying to think about the back arching and rounding. So across the top of my shoulders, I've got a curving action coming through. I'm thinking about my head pulling back, all around my throat and the side of my neck, that being soft and relaxed. Bring hands up to upper yin position. Again, try not to let the fingers go flaccid with this. You want to keep the fingers active and keep them working. That's good. As you're doing that, you're still sitting tall like we did earlier during the week. Imagine you're being drawn upright. There's no tension within the body. And if you need to, just drop the hands a little bit. It's up to you. Trying to follow the flow of the breathing around the body. And you're trying to keep relaxed. So sit tall, relax, and follow the breathing. Try and remember to spiral through the forearms, and that spiral should come into the chest. The front of the chest is closing, like you're bringing your arms together, and the back, particularly the upper back, is rounding. Take the hands into an upper yang position. What I like you to do with this is a yang position. This is more forceful, it's a stronger position. But I like you to think about pushing from your butt cheek, from your buttocks, all the way forward through the arms. Okay, as you do that, try not to lean into it, but there should be a definite pushing backwards at a 45-degree angle into the bottom of the hip. So that kind of the bit I'm talking about is kind of about here. That's where I'm pushing down to. Not up at the top. And if you're getting the push correct, you should feel the chest closing and the back opening. Again, you're still thinking about drawing upright. Graham and Pete, try to be aware of the elbows as well. Make sure that's not creating a blockage for the press. The energy should go all the way through the arms, all the way out to the fingers. Soften down into the legs, into the buttocks. You're trying to relax, and this time the push is straight down. So you're going from the head. Yes, you're being drawn upright, but the feeling is your body weight is going downwards as you're doing this. And And when you sigh, breathe out, just thinking about it from your shoulders downwards, just dropping the body weight lower down into the buttocks. Come back to neutral position. In a neutral position, try to make sure your body weight is split equally between the left and the right sides of the body, and also between your thighs and your arms. And relax. The way we've done this, I guess most of it at the moment is your feet are on the floor. And again, you can use your feet to generate impulse and power. But sometimes it's worth just kind of lifting your feet up and trying the same thing. So actually you can't use your feet to ground, and you do have to use the rest of the body to do the movement. Or possibly just put your legs, tuck them right underneath, so the top of the toes are touching the floor, which again makes it slightly harder to ground. But it's easy to do this for longer than lifting your legs up, because that works your core muscles quite a lot. Let's move on to doing some moving energy work, some Qigong. And again, I'll talk through as we do it. So let's do a little bit. We'll start at the top of the neck. So my chin comes down. Remember, I'm still sitting tall. My back is straight, but I'm trying to feel the arch in my back. So the lower part of my back here, I'm not just slumping or leaning forward. I'm trying to sit tall, and as my chin comes down, I want to feel going from the coccyx all the way through to the top of the head. Just my back slightly rounding as I do this. So chin goes down, lower back pushes out. As your chin comes up, you should feel this area then hollow, should arch, and my chest opens. Down, chest closes, shoulders come slightly forward, lower back goes out. Look up and down. Okay, if you take your chin to your right side and allow the chin just to fall down. As you do this, try not to tilt the body. We're trying to get the chin coming to the front of the chest. So you're going to use your right buttock to press up and get your head to come across to the other side. Press up and across. And relax. From there again, sitting tall, relaxing the body, think about the breathing. We're just going to take our ear, right ear down to the right shoulder. Try not to tilt with this. We're starting a gentle stretch coming down the side of the spine. Go the other direction. What I'd like you to try and do as you do this is to feel the stretch going from here and all the way down from the side of the ear down to the waist. You're trying to open that side. The other side is compressing, so there's a squeeze, and when you let it go, it should just unlock immediately and help you to go across the other side where you reverse the process. Across. And again last time. And relax, sit tall again, please. So I want to take that to kind of, I guess, the next stage, where you're going to take one hand around the waist, other hand over the top, and you're just going to lean. Again, try not to tilt the body. You're trying to keep the buttocks evenly weighted as you do that. And just from there, just the side that's closing, just feel it just relax and soften. Just see if that helps you go across a little bit more. Soften, relax, float back the other way. Lean over the top. So you're trying to make sure the side where the arm is up, this side is open. You're trying to soften it. The other side is compressed. You're trying to work them both together. So there's the opening of the left side of my body. Compression on the right, and release the compression and float back up. Let's come over. Release and come back. The chest, where the side where you're compressing, just release the muscles and then float back. That's nice. So from there, I want you to have your hands just on your hips and turn your head to your right, only the head. So don't move the shoulders, don't move the breastbone. So try and keep your tummy button facing towards the front. Turn your shoulders a little bit more towards the right. Take the left arm across the body, right hand coming towards where the kidneys are, the lungs. Now you're going to turn your sternum, your breastbone to the corner. And you want both buttocks to have the same amount of weight on the chair. So try not to tilt up, particularly as you twist. Release. Come back to the front. Look left. So I've got the weight spread equally between both buttocks. I'm not tilting. My breastbone is facing towards the front, as is the tummy button. That's good. Rotate the breastbone to the left corner. And try and still keep the weight equal on both buttocks on the chair. Hand up. Hand on the kidneys, lungs. Try and feel the spiral of the back. And try and feel the compression. Tighten up with the body and just let go when you want and switch all the way to the other side. Feel the compression, release it when you want and come back. Last time. That's good. And relax. Any questions so far? Cool. Let's look at the next one. So I want to take the one where we put the hands in front and you roll them over. And the feeling is here. I'm thinking about going from my coccyx all the way up to my C1. As I roll the hands over, I'm trying to feel each vertebra, each disc opening up in the back. So you should get a progressive curve of the spine, starting from here, going all the way up as you do this. Again, do it to a level that's appropriate and suitable for you. So turn the hands over. For the disc, the vertebra move from the coccyx upwards. Unwind. One more time, turn the hands over. And come back. Again. And relax. So we're going to take the one where we take the hands and I'm compressing. And as you compress, I want you to try and compress into the lower part of the hip again. So we're looking at kind of about this height. You just feel that pressing down in towards the chair. I'm trying to keep the weight spread equally between the left and the right sides of my body. And then come up and imagine the hands are being drawn back into the chest. And as I do that, the weight is now being pushed out to the top of the butt cheek. So the first part we've worked here. Second part, I want you to think of pushing about there. So as the hands are coming back into here, I'm just tilting backwards a little bit and opening my back. Open the chest, bring the hands on top, other way around, press down. The compression, front of the hips, bottom of the hips, release back to here. And then imagine you're being pushed backwards, 45-degree angle. Now just tilt the pelvis up just a little bit. Last time, bring the hands on top. So soften down. Feel the compression at the bottom of the hips. Release when you're ready. When the hands are up, then soften down into the top of the buttocks, bottom of the hips. And relax. So this is it's quite a good way to practice some of the opening and closing movements, because here you've got less to think about. You don't have to worry about are your feet pointing in the right direction. Is the weight correct between both feet? You've just got to think about just your hand and make sure the hands are in the right place. Sorry, I need a drink. I've been talking too much all afternoon. Any questions so far? Okay. So the spirals that we've done so far, we've thought about compressing here as I come across and opening the other side. And it's a similar thing that I close the chest but open the back when I come to here. And I go the other way, so I'm closing the back but opening the chest. We've thought about the spiraling action coming here. Just trying to keep my buttocks level on the chair, but at the same time getting that spiraling action just to help generate power. Okay? Let's go to the one where we take the hands just out to the side. Let's take the hands back to the side. Try and feel the hips being pushed backwards at a 45-degree angle downwards. Float up, open the chest. Hands come level with the shoulders. And just open the lower back. So I'm closing the chest, bring the chest together, shoulders together, lower back is opening. When you get there, just a fun little turn of the hip, little turn, compress, and release. Open the hands again. And again, you have to do this at a pace that's suitable for you. So we open the chest, close the back. If you're going too fast, you won't feel it, you won't get the benefits from it. I've shifted my weight here. In, compress down, close the chest, open the back. And float one more time. And relax. Okay. This one's a bit harder now because your legs are in the way, but what I want you to think about, if you just watch for a moment, is I want you to think about bringing the shoulders up, arms come up, you turn to the side, lift the arms, and relax down. What you're trying not to do is to keep the arms going, so you turn to the side, and they just go boom. And wherever you stop them, they kind of stop dead really. That's what we're aiming for, okay? So we'll try. Shoulders relaxed. Bring the shoulders up towards your cheek, up towards your ears. Start taking the arms to the side. Lift up to one side, you choose which one. And drop. That's it. And don't forget the drop ends up as a lower yin position. So the palms are towards you. And you've got some curvature of the arm. And a slight gap between the arm and the armpit. Ready again? Good, so up. Feel that twist, feel the spinal twist, twist into the waist, and release. Good. Relax for a second for me, just hold it there. You're all getting the arm movements, which is great, but what we're not all getting is this turning action here. So some of you are getting here and going boom. In that way, so you've got really strong arms or your opponent's much, much weaker than you. But what we're trying to do in kind of a more correct way is use your whole of the body energy. So I'm thinking about this part of the waist here, pressing, and it's compressing. It's a bit like a spring. The spring is under tension, and you're letting it go. And that's what we're looking at here. It's that kind of action. There, that's enough. I fully compress. And you come down. Because you can get that turning action as you strike, as you punch, the velocity adds to the damage you cause to an aggressor. Try a couple more times, so shoulders up, hands to the side, so waving the hands, turn the waist, up, hands up, keep the turn there, and drop down really quick. Nice, try the other side please, last time. There's maybe one to have a little bit of practice on. If I try and show you sideways, so I'm thinking about my shoulders coming up, and I'm turning the waist from facing you, and I want to turn the waist as far as I can, but without it affecting my posture. So if I've leant this far back as I turn my waist, that's too much. So if my posture's here, I still want to try and keep it upright. I turn as far as it goes, turn, boom, and then drop. So again, have a little bit of a play, a little bit of a practice with that at home. So I'd like to think about the twisting that we've done today and the up and down kind of actions and put them together as part of the form itself. Okay. So if you take your hands by your side, and just to start with, we're going to do lift hands. Pete Graham, if you want a bit more of a challenge, Martin, as well, you can lift your feet off the floor. Pete, you can do the splits doing it. It's up to you. If you want to keep them on the floor, that's fine. So sit tall again. Try and keep the shoulders relaxed, chest down, and I'm pushing backwards into my buttocks. So as I feel the compression in my butt, it comes into my chest, my arms start to move. When they get back level with the knees, you release the compression, they float up. Bring the hands down and repeat. So I drop my hands down, drop my chest, and I've lifted. Keep pressing that just by yourself, just for 30 seconds, and I'll be right back. Stay relaxed, stay soft, please. I want to move the body more than it's necessary. And feel a definite compress and release. So remember, try and keep the arms soft and relaxed. And down. And what you're trying to do, what I suggest you try to do is you lift, you feel the compression on the front of the hip. As you come down, it should be coming towards the top of the hip. So try to drive that movement, all of it will come from your buttocks and this way. Last couple of times, please. That's nice. Okay, and relax. Any questions on that part? Okay, so the next stage is where we start trying to be a little bit cleverer with how we actually move the body with this one. You've come up, you've come down, and we'll do it as part of grass bow's tail actually, because that's probably a little bit easier. And then I want to feel the weight switching across to my right buttock. Hands come up. And this is where we're clever, because the lifting action that we've done, the turning action that we've done, compressing, it all comes into this action. So turn to here, there's the spiral, there's compression, and there's this rolling action here, which you use to generate the power. Okay? So let's have a try. So hands by the side, down, lift, drop the arms, you come across to your side, feel the turn, and bring the left arm up. So left palm towards you, right palm out. Let's try that one more time. So it's all going great, so we got to here, got to here, boom, I finished, and you sped up. So whatever pace you've kept the arms with, here, feel the compression and release it. You don't have to do these moves fast to feel their effectiveness, but you probably do have to do it slowly to learn how to be effective with it. Have a try with this on the left and the right side, so alternate which side you practice with. Good. I'm just having, just do one more time for me, everyone, so I can just have a little look, see how you're doing. Please. Okay, if you just stop there for a second. Let's do that just for a moment more. So the lift hands is absolutely fine. This bit's fine. And you've got to hear what most of you are doing is you're then taking tension up into your shoulders. You're stiffening the shoulders. So you need to think about the action here. It's a rolling action. And as this arm comes out, my arms aren't stiff. I brought them down, I come across. And you're trying to float. So much the same way as you did earlier, where your hands got to there and you tilt and it floats. This is the same kind of movement that we're looking for. as we come through to here. Okay, let's try that just a couple of times, please. You're going from, can you still see me? Just like that. If you just relax for a second, just watch. I thought I'd stand up, it might be a bit easy for you to get the idea. So you've come up really nicely. So you've compressed here, and you let the arms float up, about shoulder height. Turn over, draw back. I turn my right foot out just a fraction here. I then hold the ball. And I'm feeling that turning action here. I feel my chest, my shoulders come together to compress. And I just let it go to come out to do the next move. That was better, Ed. And if you can have that action where from when you've come to the side, if you just stay strong, it looks really rigid. But actually, if you can take the action here, I can feel the compression all the way down into my left foot, and then just let it go. Have a little try with that, please, just for a minute more. And then we'll move on. That's nice. Good. Try not to lift the hands too high. Feel the twist of the waist, feel the catch, feel the rear buttocks just absorbing the energy. And as you float, it floats out from that rear hip. Graham, it's a bit difficult to see with the angle. Are you taking your arm back too far past the body, or still keeping it just a little bit in line with the, just before the shoulder? Where's my chair? Okay, let's move on. So we've gone up, we've gone down, we've come forward from there with the left leg forward. We're trying to stay relaxed. And the next sequence of moves, I want you to think about 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. So I've gone here, and in my case, I'm only just turning to 2 o'clock, and the hands draw back. This front hand stays at 10. I hold the ball. Press and float. So when you're going from here, it's not a massive great move. So if I go here, you can probably see I'm leaning over to the side a little bit. It's a very small action we're looking at. So hands out for me. Oh, sorry, we'll take it. Yeah, we'll do it from here. So you turn the waist to your left. Turn the hands over. Draw back to the opposite corner. Cool, let's try that again with the other arm on top this time. So right hand on top. So we're going to turn the body to the right. Draw the hands over. And to the left. One more time. I'm just watching this one to see how you guys are doing. So left palm towards, which hand's in front? Good. Sorry, so whichever hand is in front is palm towards you. The rear hand is palm out. Good, Angela. Okay, and relax. So as you're doing this, you should still be trying to feel how your waist is moving. We'll take a slight detour for a second, but at the moment what I'm seeing is lots of actions coming from here, which all been driven by the upper part of the chest. You know the exercise where we do with the lasso. We're going to do a similar thing now, but what I'd like you to think about is from your belly button upwards, there's absolutely no movement. So you're just trying to then roll around your buttocks, but with little action waist upwards. And I'm trying to feel a spiraling going around the body, a circle going around my buttocks. Reverse direction. So if you've got this right, there should be no, or at least very little head movement. And you should try and feel as if your buttocks are going all the way around the chair, from one side all the way around until it joins back up again. Did you feel that? Give me a thumbs up if you felt it. Okay. The other way to do it is to, you could grab a tennis ball or something like that, or a pair of socks, and actually put the socks down. If you try it this way, everyone have a little try this way. So you've all got that, that's really easy, isn't it? So you can now feel the weight transferring in a circle around your buttocks. So now rather than the upper body moving, you're trying to affect the same feeling, still with the waist rotating, but by the buttocks pushing down into the chair. If I exaggerate, so you can see the kind of movement I'm getting. But as you get more comfortable with it, you can look at the same feeling, but with less effortless work. Okay. Let's go and add on the next few moves. And as we've come up, we press forward. We want to think about the compression, pushing backwards into the hips, float, and release. That's it. Did forget that bit, didn't I? We'll add that bit in. So, hands by side. We'll start from the beginning. Lift the hands up. Float up. Bring the hands down. Compress across to your right. Feel the spine bowing and turning. And come through with the... Good. So turn the waist to your left. Turn the hands over. Draw back. Bring the back hand on top, try to keep the shoulder relaxed, and press. And just as you get to the end of the press here, there's a little compression which pushes backwards, compress, and float across. Cool. Let's come back to here where you've got your right hand on top. The right hand's going to push the left arm out, press, compress the arms together, so almost like you're squeezing, and then you float across. Squeeze, and float. That's it. And again, try not to let the arms go, the fingers go stiff with this. The fingers are out, maybe with a slight angle. But I'm trying to think from here, I compress, and as I release, that's what gets my waist to turn, to draw back. Let's have a try. So if we go from the press, and we'll try it opposite alternate hands. So I can press, release and float, and allow the arms to split. That's nice. And when you split, have the hands at a slight angle. Try it on the other side. So the weight spread equally between both buttocks. Press, compress, float and release. Okay, and try that again for me. So take one arm out, compress hand and the arm together. Okay, any questions so far? I'm going to unmute you for a moment, see if you've got any observations about seated Tai Chi. You can all speak if you want to. What do you think, Pete? Was that easy?
No.
Angela, how about you? What did you think?
I thought it was going to be easy.
Yeah, it's not. It looks easy because then you kind of think about the fact that you're only using your arms, and if you only use your arms, it is easy. But if all you're doing then is you're just waving your arms about, I suppose you could call it Tai Chi. It's not getting the best from it. But if you think about the compression, the softening, the opening, so even seating, or like I'm doing at the moment, as a kneeling exercise, I'm still trying to feel everywhere, in this case in the knees, up to my head, compress, expand, twist, release, rotate, soften the body, arch the back, all those kinds of things. Martin, anything from you?
Sorry?
Anything from you?
Yeah, it's you realise how much you're led by your feet.
Yeah.
It's,
And the other way that once you get better with this is certainly Pete and Graham, they can practice Tai Chi lying down on their back. You like that idea, don't you, Pete? I can tell.
Yeah, this is a planking,
No, lie all the way down, Pete. Oh, you're on a ball.
Yeah, on a chair.
Yeah. So there you go. You can do your Tai Chi like that, Pete.
Okay. Love it. I'm gonna go stiff core.
Graham, any thoughts from you? Okay. Let's come back now. I'm going to mute you all again so there's no interference. And we'll move through and we'll try to get to the end of the first section of Grass Bear Tail. And it just shows, normally if we were standing, I think by now you would have quite happily gone through the full sequence, roll back, split, soften and push, and then thought about turning. But because we're now thinking about this at a slightly deeper level, about how we use that feeling within the body, there's actually more to think about. So hands to the side for me. Soften. Lift, float. Bring the hands down. Try and feel your whole body, every action you do. Feel the turning, the rotation, the lifting of the waist. You feel where the weight goes in your hips. Cool. Let's try exactly the same sequence of moves, but on the other side this time. So you're going to end up with your right arm in front on the first move. Well, actually, we'll do it. Let's do it from lift hands as well. Rotate. Go to your left. And step forward. Is any questions? One more time then. So you do it on the left side or the right side and then switch sides. So you get to work both parts. Okay, question for you. When you're practicing, and so we'll do the same. What I want you to do next is pick whichever form you're working on. So Pete could be section 3, Chong Chuan, or the San Chai form, Graham, if you want to do a single version of that. Martin, probably section 2. And I want you to have the same feeling, the same level of concentration. That the movements you're doing, if you're coming into crane beak, how far forward do you go before you lose connection with the buttocks? You're pressing here and you're rolling back to the side. When do I lose that connection? Ideally, the answer is you don't. I just make sure I turn the waist more, but I'm still focusing on pushing my right buttock into the chair. Same. And 3. So, Angela, Ed, if you want to pick either grass parasol that we've just walked through. Martin, probably section 2, but it's up to you. Pete, 3. And Graham, section 3, or Chong Chuan, or Dao, or two-man form. It's up to you. Have a little practice, and I'll keep an eye out to see what you're doing, see if you've got any questions. If you do have any, give me a wave so I know that you have a question. Okay, in your own time then, off you go. Try to make sure the weight feels equal between both butt cheeks. Your arms, your left and the right side of the body are working as well. That's it. Just unmuting you, Ed. Yes, Ed.
After this bit, if you're doing it from this side,
Yeah.
do you take it like that, or do you take it like that?
That'd be the second way. So if you've brought the hands down here, I've rolled back, I come back to the right side. So whichever, when you've done the lift hands, whichever hand goes on top first, that's the side that you then roll back onto.
Okay, I got it.
Cool.
Yeah.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
And you're still feeling that connection, Martin? Is it your buttocks that are driving the movement, or is that your shoulders that are just lifting? No, nice try. I'm watching. Slow it down then and try and feel the movement go from each part of the buttock into the next one. Did you just lift your shoulders up? Don't cheat. Martin, watch for a sec, please. So what you're doing a little bit, you've come here, and you see my shoulders lifting. So you've got to about here, and then these are coming up. So I'm trying to keep my shoulders totally still, and the only bit that's moving is kind of the arm part of the shoulder. So there should be no movement where the shoulders come up to your ears. It should be here. My shoulders haven't lifted. My shoulders still haven't lifted. That's better. That's the way. Cool, well done. And relax there, stop there. So seated Tai Chi is actually really difficult if you're not used to it. And then when you're used to it, it's still quite challenging. But it's a really good way of practicing. And what you've got to remember is, because now you're focusing generally on the arms, is still to keep it slow, sit tall, think about the breathing, and soften. But when you're doing whichever section or whichever form you're working on, you've got to try and feel the movement emanating from your buttocks. When I do this, I try to sit forward on the chair. So there's a massive, great gap, probably about that much of a gap between my back and the chair. Because there's a tendency for most of us, if we come back and then slouching into the chair with a gap between the small of my back and the chair. Whereas if I'm sitting upright, I can know that I'm tall, I've got good posture, and I can feel everything from my buttocks moving there, weight going into my right buttock, shifting spiral to the left, central, and through. So practice your form and try and feel where the weight goes in your buttocks. Try and feel the chest opening and the chest closing, and again likewise the same feeling in the back. And you'll have rotations going this way, you'll have rotations going this way. And you see that, a good one right at the beginning of section 2. You have it, it's a bit smaller, but when you come on to long boxing, it's quite a pronounced lift and roll on both dimensions, both planes. Hope that's been thought-provoking today. It's got you to think about your Tai Chi and how you're doing it. It wasn't